and Nicklaus was captain and I was captain, and we tied, and he said, "This week is the greatest sporting event I've ever participated in." And I was shocked.
We like to think it was, I guess. I think that Arnold and I, many times, we'd be in a golf tournament, be in contention in the golf tournament, we'd be playing together.
There have been lots of wonderful memories we've shared here. You and I have shared some, and have had so many others.
When Jack Nicklaus said he loved competing against 7 golfers, he revealed golf's greatest secret. His 18 majors weren't built in isolation. They were forged against golf's toughest competitors ever. Each rival shaped a different piece of his soul. If you're hyped, give this video hype. It keeps golf stories alive. Rivalry created the greatest golfer ever. Jack's greatness came from fierce competition. These 7 golfers reflected pieces he desperately needed to see. Each forced him to evolve and grow. From the 1950s to 80s, they pushed him to excellence or occasionally beat him, teaching important lessons. They were mirrors of his complete journey. Let's start with the man who showed young Nicklaus exactly how to think like a true champion. Ben Hogan was the idol. Nicklaus viewed him as the gold standard for ball striking and discipline. The Hawk was stoic, believing golf's answers lay in relentless repetition. When Nicklaus arrived, he brought raw power. Yet he absorbed Hogan's analytical mindset and defensive strategy. You win majors through elimination of error. Their defining moment came at the 1960 U.S. Open at Cherry Hills. Nicklaus was 20, paired with the 47-year-old Hogan for the final rounds. Nicklaus shot 69 in the morning. Hogan shot 67. Despite Hogan's reputation for silence, they had a great time together. In the final round, Nicklaus eagled the 5th and birdied the 9th, seizing the lead. But the back 9 undid both. Nicklaus 3-putted twice. Hogan hit a wedge into the water on 17. Nicklaus finished 2nd. Hogan tied for 9th. But Nicklaus beat Hogan in the final aggregate. He had absorbed the pressure. The experience solidified his belief that his game traveled against the greatest strikers. While Nicklaus respected Hogan, he didn't mimic him. Their swings represented different eras. Hogan played flat with a lower ball. Nicklaus played high and upright. Hogan's mystique permeated Nicklaus's approach. From Hogan, he took lessons about discipline and precision, but Palmer would teach something entirely different. Arnold Palmer was the king, a blue-collar hero from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, who hitched up his pants, smoked on the tee, and swung with violence that thrilled television audiences. Palmer brought golf to masses. Nicklaus was the golden bear, upper middle class from Columbus, methodical and stoic. Where Palmer relied on charisma and recovery, Nicklaus relied on logic and precision. Their rivalry birthed modern golf. From Palmer, Nicklaus understood golf is more than a game. It's a business. It's a spectacle. But initially, it was a war. The epicenter came at the 1962 U.S. Open at Oakmont, Palmer's backyard. Galleries were aggressively anti-Nicklaus. Arnie's army jeered the rookie about his weight. Nicklaus entered winless. Palmer was the reigning Masters champion. Over 72 holes, they tied. An 18-hole playoff was set for Sunday. Nicklaus was impervious. He said, "I never missed a putt in my mind," blocking out hostility. He jumped to an early lead. By the 6th hole, he was 4 strokes ahead. Palmer mounted a charge, but Nicklaus refused to crumble. He won 71-74. Palmer's reaction was gracious but foreboding. He said, "Now that the big guy's out of the cage, everybody better run for cover." The victory signaled regime change. Nicklaus defeated the most popular player in history in his own backyard. Nicklaus quickly eclipsed Palmer in majors. While Palmer won 7 between 1958 and 1964, his well ran dry after Nicklaus arrived. After 1964, Palmer never won another major while Nicklaus ascended toward 18. The 1965 Masters showed dominance. Nicklaus shot .271, beating Palmer and Gary Player by 9 shots. Bobby Jones watching remarked, "Nicklaus played a game with which I am not familiar." This moment shifted from equals to dominance. In the 1967 U.S. Open at Baltusrol, Nicklaus and Palmer paired for final rounds. Nicklaus shot 65 to win, breaking the scoring record. Definitive statement of superiority. Despite fierce on-course battles, they became lifelong friends. Their rivalry drove golf's television popularity. Palmer brought viewers. Nicklaus raised the standard. Nicklaus said, "If I ever had a problem, Arnold Palmer was always there for me, and vice versa." When Palmer's wife Winnie passed in 1999, Nicklaus offered to leave a tournament to be with him. Palmer insisted he stay, underscoring their respect. But Palmer wasn't the only global force Nicklaus faced. Gary Player was the South African Black Knight, the third Big Three member. Smaller than Nicklaus and Palmer, Player compensated with a fanatic work ethic and commitment to physical fitness that was decades ahead of its time. Nicklaus praised Player's incredible work ethic, fitness, and bunker play, acknowledging him as the hardest worker he ever met. Player was the ultimate grinder. He lacked Nicklaus's natural power and high ball flight, but possessed an iron will. He traveled more than any athlete in history, spreading golf globally, often with Nicklaus for exhibitions. Their rivalry was unique because it played out on a global stage from Augusta to St. Andrews to Australia and South Africa. The 1974 Open Championship at Royal Lytham stands out as definitive. Player, having won the Masters that year, demonstrated the ability to outlast the bear on links. This course demanded precision over power, neutralizing some of Nicklaus's advantage. Player dominated, leading wire to wire. He shot 69, 68, 75, and 70 to finish at 282, -2. Nicklaus chased but finished third. Player's victory was masterclass in managing elements and demonstrated his tenacity. He was the only modern player to break the Palmer-Nicklaus Grand Slam duopoly, winning all 4 majors. Nicklaus respected Player greatly because Player refused to be intimidated by the bear's superior distance. Player's phenomenal bunker play saved him strokes that his driving distance lost him off the tee. Nicklaus marveled at Player's enduring physical fitness and relentless competitive spirit. Admiration was mutual but intensely competitive throughout. Player remarked he worked twice as hard to beat Nicklaus, knowing he lacked Jack's natural gifts and physical advantages. Their rivalry was perhaps the most cordial and genuinely warm of the 7 great relationships. They were true partners in business and travel globally, sharing planes and hotels across continents. Proximity bred brotherhood rather than animosity. Player's dedication to fitness forced Nicklaus to reconsider his own physical conditioning in the late 60s, leading to a slimmed-down version who dominated the 1970s. While Player challenged openly, another rival was deadly. Billy Casper's The Ghost Haunting Golf's Great Banquet. Often omitted from Big Three conversation entirely, he was statistically their equal and often their superior during the mid-1960s years. Nicklaus frequently cited Casper as the most underrated golfer in the entire history of the sport, a fierce and relentless competitor who quietly racked up wins while the media focused intensely on the Big Three. Casper's game was antithesis to Nicklaus's power. He was tactician with short game bordering on wizardry. Nicklaus called him the best putter he ever saw. Statistics backed reverence. Between 1964 and 1970, Casper won 27 PGA Tour events, 2 more than Nicklaus, 6 more than Palmer and Player combined during that period. The 1966 U.S. Open at Olympic Club defined the dynamic, often remembered as Palmer tragedy. Actually, it was Casper masterpiece witnessed by Nicklaus. Entering back 9 of final round, Palmer led Casper by 7 strokes. Tournament seemed over. Palmer, chasing Hogan's scoring record, played aggressively, taking unnecessary risks. Casper stuck to conservative plan. He birdied 15th and 16th while Palmer hemorrhaged strokes. By 18, the 7-shot lead evaporated. In 18-hole playoff next day, Casper defeated Palmer 69-73. Nicklaus finished third, watching as Casper dismantled the king, not with power, but with relentless, error-free golf and hot putter. This victory proved no lead was safe against Casper. It reinforced patience's value, virtue Nicklaus held, but saw validated in Casper's refusal to quit. Casper haunted the elite again at 1970 Masters. Nicklaus shot 69 and 69 on weekend, but finished 8th. Tournament came down to playoff between Casper and Gene Littler. Casper won 69-74. Once again, he denied big names through superior putting on Augusta's slick greens. Nicklaus knew while Palmer was popular rival and Player International won, Casper beat him on greens, the place Nicklaus felt most vulnerable. Nicklaus said Billy was probably underrated by those who didn't play against him. Those who competed against him knew how special he was. But if Casper was quiet, Lee Trevino was something else. Lee Trevino was the Merry Mex, a hustler from Texas, psychological antithesis to Nicklaus. He played a low fade and quipped, "You can talk to a fade, but a hook won't listen." Playing against Ohio Nicklaus motivated him. Nicklaus respected his ability to stay loose under pressure. At the 1971 U.S. Open at Marion, they tied after 72 holes. On the playoff's first tee, Trevino pulled a rubber snake and tossed it at Nicklaus. Tension broke. He shot 68 to 71, dismantling him. Trevino denied Nicklaus the Grand Slam in 1972 and won the 1974 PGA. 4 times Nicklaus finished second to Trevino. He was the only player who consistently beat prime Nicklaus, but as Nicklaus approached 40, a new rival emerged who took everything. Tom Watson was the mirror image, intelligent strategist with high ball flight. Unlike previous rivals, Watson broke his heart. He was the toughest mental competitor Nicklaus faced. Their rivalry produced the greatest head-to-head battle in golf history. The 1977 Open at Turnberry is the Mona Lisa of rivalries. Nicklaus and Watson separated entirely from the field. In the final round, they matched shot for shot. Nicklaus shot 66. Watson shot 65. They finished 10 and 11 shots clear of third place. Watson hit his approach to 2 feet. Nicklaus drained a massive putt for birdie. Watson tapped in to win by 1. Walking off 18, Nicklaus put his arm around Watson. He said, "Tom, I gave you my best shot, but it wasn't good enough." Watson realized if he beat Nicklaus, he could beat anyone. 5 years later, at the 1982 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, they dueled again. Nicklaus, now 42, finished his round in the clubhouse with the lead. Watson stood on the par 3/17 tee, tied with Nicklaus. He pulled his tee shot into the deep fescue rough. It looked like certain bogey. His caddy told him to get it close. Watson replied, "I'm going to make it." He chopped the ball out and it disappeared for a birdie. He birdied 18 to win by 2. Watson snatched another major. Watson prevented Nicklaus from winning a 5th U.S. Open and 4th Open. He was the only player beating Nicklaus consistently in the 4th quarter of his career. They remained close friends. But in the twilight of Nicklaus's career, one final rival appeared who changed everything. Seve Ballesteros was a creative genius. The Spaniard was the complete antithesis to the Nicklaus method. Where Nicklaus was scientific and calculated, Seve was artistic and emotional. Where Nicklaus played the percentages, Seve played the impossible. Nicklaus called him the most creative genius he ever dueled. Seve represented the European invasion, transforming professional golf and the Ryder Cup. He brought a slash and rescue style that baffled the orderly Nicklaus mind. Nicklaus first truly encountered Sev at the 1976 Open at Royal Birkdale. Sev was just 19, leading the tournament for 3 days with fearlessness that captivated British crowds. In the final round, Johnny Miller won, but Seve fought alongside Nicklaus for second place. On the 18th hole, Seve played a delicate chip between bunkers, securing a tie for second. Nicklaus saw in the young Spaniard a fire and imagination reminding him of Palmer with uniquely European flair. The defining moment came at the 1983 Ryder Cup at PGA National. Nicklaus was the U.S. captain. Seve played Fuzzy Zoeller in a crucial singles match. On 18, a par 5, Seve hooked his drive into a fairway bunker. He was 245 yards from the green with a steep lip in front. Most players would wedge out. Seve pulled a 3-wood. Nicklaus watched intently. He called it the greatest shot he ever saw. Seve picked the ball clean, barely clearing the lip. The ball soared over water and landed on the fringe, allowing him to have the hole. It defied physics and logic, a shot Nicklaus would never attempt because percentages were wrong. It taught Nicklaus that excellence comes in many forms. Jack Nicklaus's 18 majors are often cited as a monolithic achievement standing alone. But the truth is far more beautiful. It's a mosaic. Each piece was shaped by specific adversaries. Each taught different lessons woven into his championship legacy. Hogan gave him the technical blueprint and excellent standard. Palmer gave him the stage and rivalry. Player forced global thinking and fitness. Casper taught that quiet competitors are deadliest. Trevino taught humility and danger of those refusing intimidation. Watson pushed him to absolute limits and took the crown. Ballesteros showed beauty of creativity and golf's future. Nicklaus noted, "Respect isn't given for wins alone. It's earned through character, discipline, creativity, mental toughness, and commitment to greatness that never fades." Later, he said, "Greatness recognizes and honors greatness in others." These weren't just words. He lived them. He didn't dominate a weak era. He dominated the golden era, defeating the King, the Knight, the Black Knight, the Ghost, the Merry Mex, the Heir, and the Matador. His legacy is the sum of these battles and relationships. In the end, Nicklaus's 18 majors weren't built alone. They were carved through 7 mirrors of greatness. The quality of a champion is best measured by quality of those defeated and those who occasionally defeated him. Greatness isn't about standing alone. It's about the giants you stood beside.